there's a question of are sports like still unifying us, right? Because I think, maybe a few years ago, the argument was pretty good that sports could be like a religion because we're all unified around it and you can be black, white, left, right, and you just come and you all root for the same team and the same players. Do you think that's changed over the past few years?
Yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, like it has changed. Um, I think, like I said, sports should be a place where people can kind of decompress and get away from like their normal life and all the problems of society. Kind of just get in to enjoy their favorite sports teams and to bond and do whatever. But now it feels like if you don't have a certain political view, then even if you're playing the sport,
Right.
like you can't even thrive the same way. So you have to think a certain way, and you know, a majority of cases that have been displayed, um, to kind of get that same recognition or even get the same fair media coverage that someone else would get if they um, had a certain political view that's more acceptable. And I think some fans who in their normal life may be really engaged with politics, if they go to sports as a way to decompress and sports are also politicized, it just kind of makes it a turnoff because it's not a safe space anymore. It kind of takes away from what the initial purpose of it was. That's just what I think.
Yeah, and I mean, we can go to specific examples. I don't know. I'm sure you're familiar with Jonathan Isaacs. I think that's his name, the Orlando Magic's
Hmm.
player. I don't know how good he is. I never actually watched him play. I don't know if is he back from his injury? I think he injured his leg or something.
Yeah, he tore his ACL a couple seasons ago. He missed all of last season. He's supposed to be coming back soon. But yeah, he's a good player. He's been injury prone,
He
but he's a
yeah,
good
he
player.
because I know he's fortunately for him, he's very smart and articulate,
Hmm.
and he has a deep faith in Christ, so that he conveys very well. Um, so he's able to combat the sports media very well when they kind of I feel like are a little overly aggressive with him.
Hmm.
But not everyone's able to do that, right? Like we have like Kyrie Irving, right? He's a really smart guy. I think he stands on his principles, and I think generally he's trying to do the right thing. But I feel like he's so polarizing now, and he just seems to me like a simple guy that just you know wants to live his life and play basketball. You laughed there.
Yeah,
What's your
I'm
opinion
laughing
on
because Kyrie is just so interesting. Like Jonathan Isaac kind of like I know what Jonathan Isaac stands for, but Kyrie is just all over the place, and I love Kyrie. But with that being said, that's a great example, right? And just want to throw something out there with the Jonathan Isaac situation. I remember seeing even people that I was friends with outside of the church and going on Twitter and the media and seeing all these famous like sports writers and people who covered the situation and how they ridiculed him for like when he spoke up and talked about his own faith and just even the COVID vaccine and just a bunch of different topics that he's spoken up about in the past.
hmm
And even though like I really like Jonathan Isaac and I commend his faith in the NBA and how he stands up for what he believes in and how he handled that whole situation, seeing everybody else kind of tackle it with a different perspective, it challenges you and it makes it more difficult to really like believe what you believe when you feel like you're the only person or you're one of the few who like believes what someone says or you're like you commend them, but everyone else makes you feel like you're crazy for like disagreeing or for not critiquing this person for what he just did.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
It's kind of like a double-edged sword because on the one hand, I feel like I don't want any of the athletes I'm watching commenting on anything. I don't want to hear like what LeBron thinks about, you know, some random bill that Congress is proposing, right? Like, I don't want to hear his opinion on that. I know he's he's not informed on that. He usually just makes the same kind of commentary. But at the same time, I feel like sometimes we do need these sports athletes, these people have influence to step up and take a stand, like Kyrie Irving is doing right now, refusing to take the vaccine, and even I think Aaron Rodgers, I admire what he's doing right now under a lot of pressure. But can we have it both ways? Can we have it both ways, or is that too much to ask for? I feel like,
That's a good question.
am I being hypocritical by like wanting them not to talk about anything, but when I feel it's important, they should step up and be for the people.
Well, in my opinion, like I believe that all these people in different positions, like the LeBrons, Kyries, the Jonathan Isaacs, and you can go down the list. Some players are not coming to mind. I at least understand that each of these people, like they all think that they're doing good, like in their own view, in their own shoes. When LeBron's endorsing Hillary Clinton for president, like he actually believes that he's doing like good from his perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have to sit back and realize first that everyone isn't like evil or has evil intentions. So some people might have evil intentions, but for the most part, everyone wants like what they think is best, and you have to at least respect that because it changes your perspective when you speak to them or when you listen to them. With that being said, when it was the past presidential election or the couple elections ago, LeBron's reaction to voting was like way different than his reaction to COVID now. So if his reaction to that election was similar to COVID, I would have no problem with it, and I wouldn't mind players speaking up.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, when LeBron got the COVID vaccine, like he was still up in the air. He wasn't sure if he was going to get it, and they asked him like, "Why'd you get the vaccine?" He said, "I thought it was best for me and my family, but I respect everyone's like choice to do what they want to do and do what's best for them and their families,
Mm-hmm.
and like to each man their own." So he
Right.
gave his stance on why he took the vaccine, but he also said, like, I respect everyone's choice to do what they think is best, and this is why I believe what I believe. But if you believe different, that's okay.
Yeah.